Welcome to SQE1 Preparation Criminal Practice, the Custody Officer by Street Lawyer, helping you to pass first time. Just as a point to note, the FLK2 Criminal Law and Practice, there is no specific mention of the Custody Officer save this section of the FLK2 Criminal Law and Practice, advising clients, including vulnerable clients, about the procedure and processes at the police station. Inevitably, the custody officer is involved in the procedure and processes at the police station. So, question, what key knowledge is covered in this class? Well, it's to outline the general duties and powers of the custody officer, because the custody officer is part of the procedure and processes at the police station. And for the purposes of this class, we are assuming the suspect has been arrested and taken to the police station. By way of an SQE exam tip, SBAQs may be on what is and is not the role and power of the custody officer. In other words, about whether the custody officer has the power to open and maintain custody records, to search the suspect, to authorise the suspect's detention before charge on arrival at the police station and post-interview, and to charge the suspect. Now look at these test your knowledge questions. Question 1. Is this statement true or false? The decision whether to charge the suspect rests with the officer investigating the case. Question 2. Is this statement true or false? The custody officer has the power to authorise detention before charge of a suspect arrested for common assault up to a maximum period of 24 hours. Alternative fact, can the custody officer extend the detention before charge of a suspect arrested for common assault beyond 24 hours? Question 3, is this statement true or false? Tony is 18, living at home with his mother. He's arrested for robbery of a local jeweller's. The custody officer must contact Tony's mother and arrange for her to attend the police station to act as Tony's appropriate adult. And question 4, is this statement true or false? If there is sufficient evidence to charge a suspect, the custody officer should charge the suspect. And we'll be returning to these test your knowledge questions at the end of the class. So the question is then, what is booking in the suspect? A suspect must be taken to the police station as soon as practicable after the arrest, section 30 of 1A of PACE, unless granted street bail. A suspect must be brought before a custody officer in the custody suite on arrival at the police station and booked in where a custody record is opened. Question, what are the general duties of the custody officer when the suspect is booked in? The custody officer is normally the rank of sergeant and above, and who is not involved in the investigation. They're responsible for the welfare of the suspect at the police station, opens and maintains the custody record, authorises the search of the suspect, authorises the initial period of detention of the suspect up to 24 hours, contacts and arranges an appropriate adult to attend if the suspect is 17 and younger or is vulnerable in some way, explains the rights of the suspect in custody. Ultimately, the custody officer makes decisions about the suspect, whether it's going to be a no further action, charge and release on police bail or refusal of police bail, or release on police bail or under investigation pending further inquiries. Question, what is the role of the custody officer when completing the custody record when the suspect is booked in? The custody officer opens and maintains a custody record. The custody record is usually an electronic record which contains key information, including the suspect's name, address, telephone number, date of birth and occupation, offence for which the suspect has been arrested, why the arresting officer considers it necessary to arrest the suspect, time of arrest and time of arrival at the police station, reason why the suspect's ongoing detention at the police station has been authorised, time the detention was authorised, confirmation of rights have been given to the suspect, details of property the suspect has on their persons, and details of any medical condition. Question, what is the role of the custody officer in searching a suspect? Section 54 of PACE says this, a custody officer may seize and retain any such thing or cause any such thing to be seized and retained. But Section 54.4 states clothes and personal effects may only be seized if the custody officer A believes that the person from whom they are seized may use them, Roman numeral 1, to cause physical injury to himself or any other person, Roman numeral 2, to damage property, Roman numeral 3, to interfere with evidence, or Roman numeral 4, to assist him to escape, or has reasonable grounds for believing that they may be evidence relating to an offence. Question: what is the role of the custody officer in deciding to charge a suspect on arrival at the police station? The custody officer must determine if there is, and this is a key phrase, sufficient evidence to charge the suspect by asking the arresting officer details of the evidence that exists and what steps the arresting officer proposes to take. If there is not enough evidence to charge, e.g. house search, interview the suspect as per section 37 of PACE. The custody officer should note any comments by the suspect in response to what the arresting officer says. The custody officer must not put any questions to the suspect about the suspected involvement in any offence. If there is sufficient evidence to charge the suspect should be charged and released on bail to attend the magistrate's court with or without police bail conditions, or remanded into police custody to be brought before the magistrate's court. Question: what is the role of the custody officer if there is not sufficient evidence to charge the suspect on arrival at the police station? It is unusual when the suspect first arrives at the police station for there to be sufficient evidence to charge them with any offence. If the custody officer has reasonable grounds for believing that the person's detention without being charged is necessary to secure or preserve evidence relating to an offence for which the person is under arrest, e.g. to carry out house searches, conduct an ID procedure, or to obtain such evidence by questioning the person, e.g. to conduct a police interview under caution of the suspect, he may authorise the person arrested to be kept in police detention as per section 37.3 of PACE. Question: how long can a custody officer authorise the detention of a suspect? The custody officer can authorise detention of a suspect before charge for a maximum period of 24 hours from the relevant time, usually from when the suspect arrives at the police station, not the time when the suspect's detention is authorised. The usual grounds for detaining a suspect is for questioning the person. On expiry of the 24 hours, the custody officer cannot extend the detention of a suspect before charge. And this issue about authorising detention of a suspect before charge relates to the detention clock, and see a separate and more detailed class on that topic. Question: what is the role of the custody officer in deciding to charge the suspect following a police interview? Following the police interview, the custody officer must determine if there is sufficient evidence to charge. That phrase again, section 37 of PACE. The custody officer should note any comments by the suspect in response to police questions in the police interview. The custody officer should ask the officer what further inquiries, if any, will be made. If there is not sufficient evidence to charge the suspect, the custody officer should release the suspect pending further inquiries, or bail the suspect to attend the police station on a further date. If there is sufficient evidence to charge the suspect, the custody officer should charge the suspect with the offence and release the suspect on bail to attend the magistrate's court with or without police bail conditions, or remand the suspect into police custody to be brought before the magistrate's court. Now let's return to those test your knowledge questions. I want you to pause this slide, read the question for yourself and read the answers. Remember, watch all the videos in the SQE Prep Criminal Practice series. Understand the functioning legal knowledge being examined by reading the SRA website for yourself. Revise from a good SQE book. Attend and participate in class. Prepare quick Q&A flashcards. Practice as many SBAQs as possible. Subscribe to Community Legal Education on YouTube and put your notifications on so you don't miss out on more SQE Prep videos. Hope you found this class useful. See you in the next class, and thank you for watching.